Welcome back. This is Pharma Careers, clear role breakdowns, practical skills, and step-by-step career roadmaps.
You know, if you're in the pharmacy world, you have absolutely faced the big question, clinical or corporate. It can feel like this massive career-defining choice. So today, we're going to break down what that choice really means to give you some genuine clarity. Let's dive right in. It's such a familiar feeling, right? You're standing at this fork in the road, and both paths seem promising, but also incredibly different. And that pressure to pick the right one can be just overwhelming. But what if the choice isn't really clinical versus corporate at all? This right here, this is where we cut through all the noise. See, the debate isn't just about job titles. It's a much more personal question. Are you drawn to working with individual patients? Or do you want to build the systems that affect entire populations? It really comes down to the type of impact you want to have. And that's the core idea we're going to explore. Okay, so to make a really good choice, we first need to be crystal clear on what these paths actually look like day to day. Because it's about so much more than just a job title. It's about the entire ecosystem you'll be working in. So on the clinical side, you've got roles like hospital pharmacy and patient counseling. I mean, your work is directly, immediately tied to an individual's health. But then on the corporate side, it's all about the bigger picture, quality assurance, regulatory affairs. These are roles that focus on the processes and documentation that make sure a drug is safe and effective for millions of people. So what does a typical day actually feel like in each of these roles? This is where your personality really starts to matter. I mean, are you someone who gets energized by reacting to people's immediate needs? Or do you find your flow in following a really meticulous process? And here is the core contrast. A clinical day is fast-paced and it is people-heavy. You're on your feet, making urgent decisions, and seeing the direct impact of your work, like right now. The corporate world, on the other hand, is process-heavy and evidence-heavy. It's way less about the immediate crisis and much more about building a defensible, regulated system through controlled workflows and just meticulous documentation. Okay, so we know the daily life is different, but what about the long game? Let's take a look at the skills that actually get you promoted, how you climb the ladder, and what really drives your salary in each of these worlds. It's so interesting because these two paths value fundamentally different skills. In a clinical setting, thinking on your feet and being able to connect with patients, that's what makes you a star. But in corporate pharma, it's a writing and evidence world. Here, it's the quality of your documentation and your super precise communication that are going to get you noticed. And this difference in skills, well, it directly impacts how you grow. Clinically, you might specialize or move into hospital leadership. In corporate, progression is all about moving from doing the work to owning the entire workflow. The corporate path can also, frankly, offer more opportunities to switch functions and gain broader experience a lot more quickly. And what about the money? Well, in the clinical world, your salary is often driven by pretty predictable factors, like your location and years of experience. In corporate, it's more about your specific function and, honestly, the scarcity of your skill set. But notice the key advice is exactly the same for both. The smartest move is to chase the path that fits you and offers a growth trajectory you're actually excited about, not just the highest starting salary. All right, we've covered the what, the how, and the why. Now it's time to turn the lens on you. Here's a little practical tool to help you figure out where you might truly belong. I want you to take a real moment with these 4 questions. Be totally honest with yourself. Do you get energized by constant interaction, or does it completely drain your social battery? Do you get a thrill from fixing an urgent issue right here, right now, or from designing a system so that issue never even happens again? Answering these questions is going to point you toward the environment where you're most likely to really thrive, not just survive. So let's bring it all together. This isn't just about your next job. It's about finding a career path that you can actually sustain for the long haul, one that really fits you. And here's a hard truth. While no decision is forever, the longer you stay on one path, the harder it becomes to pivot. So if you think a corporate role might be in your future, start building that corporate-style evidence. Structured writing, project summaries. Start doing that now, even if you're in a clinical role today. And that brings us to the final question. Clinical work offers that immediate, tangible impact. Corporate work offers scalable impact that can affect millions. Neither one is better, they're just different. So, the real question is this. Which of these worlds aligns so well with your natural style that you can pour your energy into it for years and years without burning out? The answer to that? Well, that's your path forward.
If this helped, like and subscribe. Watch the next video in Pharma Careers for the next role breakdown.